If your partner just gave birth to a baby, then you might ask yourself, how can I support her? Well, one thing that you can do is offering her food which provides her body with all the nutrients that your partner so urgently needs during her postpartum recovery. So if you're ordering food online for lunch or dinner, then you are already a hero. That's what I often did, right? However, if you want to be a superhero, you want to make sure that the food that you serve her also supports her postpartum recovery. So in this video, I'm gonna show you how to cook a delicious chicken broth. But not just any chicken broth. What I'm gonna show you is called the midwife's broth because it contains lots of nutrients and most importantly electrolytes. And that's exactly what your partner needs right now because not only did she lose a lot of fluids in the form of blood during her delivery, if your partner is breastfeeding, she will continue losing fluids. So the broth will give her body back what it needs, right? And don't worry, the recipe is super simple, but just in case you want to show off a little, I'm also gonna show you how to prepare super delicious noodles that you can then serve in the broth. So let's get started. Alright, so before we start, just to let you know, you can also download the recipe from our website. Link can be found in the description below this video. With that said, for this broth, you're gonna need 4 chicken thighs or 8 chicken drumsticks, whatever you have. You're also gonna need 2 bay leaves, a piece of ginger, the size of your thumb, some saffron and 1.5 liters of water. So that's about 0.4 US gallons, right? Okay, so this is really simple. First of all, you need to wash the chicken and then just add it to a large pot. Add the water and then bring the soup to boil. Once it is boiling, reduce to a medium heat. Cover the soup with a lid and then let it simmer for about 5 minutes. In the meantime, finely chop the ginger. Once the soup has simmered for about 5 minutes, just remove most of the foam that forms on top of the soup. And then just add the ginger, the saffron and the bay leaves. Once that is done, reduce the heat to a low setting. And then just let the soup simmer for about 4 hours. After 4 hours, you first remove the chicken. And please don't throw it away, the meat is super delicious, so use it for other dishes like for example Asian food. Alternatively, you could also serve the meat in the broth after removing the bones, right? So again, first remove the chicken and then strain the soup through a sieve. Add just enough salt so that it has a good taste. And that's it, that's your midwife's broth, and your partner can eat as much of it as she likes. 2 things. First of all, you can store the broth in the fridge for up to 48 hours as long as you cover it, right? However, please make sure that it has cooled off before you put it in the fridge. Also keep in mind that when you keep it in the fridge, it will become really thick, but that's okay, that's just the fat from the chicken. It does not mean that it has turned bad, right? As soon as you heat it up, it will become liquid again. And second, the broth can be served as it is, but personally, we like to add some stuff so that it actually becomes a full meal, right? So this could be the chicken meat that we mentioned earlier, could also be cooked vegetable or all kinds of noodles like pasta or ramen noodles, whatever your partner prefers, right? But if you want to show off, then you make the noodles yourself. So what I'm gonna show you are noodles that my mom used to make. They are super delicious, particularly when served in the chicken broth that we just cooked. In order to prepare these noodles, you will need a grater such as you use for vegetables. But you need one that comes with bigger holes. So don't just use the side of the grater that you use to produce like a pasty consistency. Use the side that you would normally use to shred cheese, for instance, right? And then ingredient wise, all you need is all-purpose flour, some salt and 1 egg. Now, unfortunately, I cannot really tell you how much flour you will need because it very much depends on the size of the egg. So first of all, add the egg to a bowl, add half a teaspoon of salt, and then start adding the flour. So start with half a cup of flour, knead the dough and check the consistency. What you want to have is a rather dry dough, which means that it is not supposed to stick and it is not supposed to be moist either. So you have to add enough flour until you have the desired consistency. Alright, and then once your dough has a nice consistency, prepare some baking paper. And then just grate the dough over the baking paper. By the way, this should not be super difficult if the dough is quite dry. So if you start cursing me because the dough keeps sticking to the grater, it's not my fault. You just need to add more flour before you continue, right? But I do admit, if you do this for the very first time, it can be a... Okay, now let everything dry for about 4 hours or overnight until you have a nice dried pasta-like consistency. And then all there is left to do is cooking the noodles in the broth until they have a good bite. How long that takes depends a bit on how dry they are when you cook them. So we will have to try them regularly. So that's it. Again, if you like, download the recipe from our website. Link can be found below this video. Definitely try it because this soup is not only super delicious, it is also packed with tons of electrolytes and other nutrients which provide your partner with everything that she needs during her postpartum recovery. Plus, it will also benefit the baby if your partner is breastfeeding. I do hope you found this video helpful. If you did, I would be super grateful if you could give me a thumbs up below this video. And for more useful tips and tools on pregnancy and baby related topics in the near future, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell.